of WGN Sports.
Hey! Holy cow! Yes! Score! Yes!
We are coming to you from Guaranteed Rate Field in the city beautiful Chicago, Illinois, where this afternoon WGN Sports presents White Sox baseball. It's Rick Renteria and your Chicago White Sox as they get set to butt heads with Jeff Bannister's Texas Rangers. Hi, everybody, and welcome. I'm Ken Harrelson with Steve Stone as we get set to bring you the finale of this four-game set. As you may or may not know, Sox won the opener. Texas won game two, then Sox won yesterday. So in this game right here, it's been a situation. Jose Abreu has been, in the series, very hot.
We're getting close to June, and Jose usually heats it up about the middle of May, and this year is no exception. This series, he's 6 for 10, hitting everything in sight. This is a double. And Jose drives in a run. Awkward slide, but he comes out okay, and this is over the center field wall, a home run. He's got 7 of them, and Jose's going to have a whole lot more of those, and so he's done just about everything right. 4 driven in, 5 runs scored, 3 doubles, the slugging percentage outstanding. Jose has led the way offensively, and then, of course, there's been a whole lot of help out of that bullpen.
Well, unfortunately, we have to frame it. In this series, they've been really good.
There's no doubt that the bullpen was struggling coming in, but I think Ricky Renteria has a winning formulation out of the bullpen, and that's Rondon, Fry, and Nate Jones is the closer. Jace Fry has been magnificent, hasn't allowed a hit yet. Aaron Bummer's been good. The sinker has been working for him. And Nate Jones has come on with a couple of saves, 2 saves in a row after just a disaster in this ballpark a little bit earlier. But you look at the bullpen, in 11 2/3 innings, given up 11 hits, but struck out 12, haven't walked anybody. That's the key. Don't put anybody on, save a couple of games, and right now the bullpen is raring to go, and hopefully will continue to do what they've been doing in this series.
All right, finale of this four-game set. So sit back, relax, and strap it down because White Sox baseball coming your way.
White Sox baseball is brought to you by your Chicago and Northwest Indiana Hyundai dealers. Test drive a Hyundai today. Xfinity has the largest gig speed network, serving more homes than anyone else. Ford, inviting you to visit your local Ford store or buyfordnow.com. Blue Cross Blue Shield of Illinois. Choose Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Illinois, the card to carry through it all. Wintrust, home of Sox checking and debit cards. Open an account today at wintrust.com/Sox. And by your Chicagoland and Northwest Indiana Audi dealers. Visit AudiOffers.com for exceptional offers on select Audi models.
Guaranteed rate field. Zach Collins, the 10th pick in the 2016 draft, is currently playing at AA Birmingham. Zach felt he had a decent season in 2017, but felt he needed to work on his defense to become a complete ball player.
Everything, yeah. I mean, nowadays you see the guys, same guys that are Gold Glovers are the ones hitting home runs. So, I mean, you got to be an all-around player, I think, to make an impact today, and that's the reason you got to work on everything. I had a good season, I think. I started off well, and then kind of hit a little rough patch there, but it happens, and that's the things you got to learn from. So I finished off well, and I got moved up, and got a little taste of AA. So I finished off the season well.
Zach struggled the first 13 games of this season, hitting only .054. He requested some video of a swing from the University of Miami, where he attended college. He made a couple of adjustments, spreading his feet, raising his hands, and from that point, he went on a 10-game hitting streak. It's a game of adjustment, and Zach and his coaches at Birmingham are able to correct his swing on a daily basis. Stay tuned. The lineups and first pitch are coming right up. Fastest internet and best in-home Wi-Fi experience. Call or visit an Xfinity store today. Let's take a look at how Jeff Bannister is going to throw out his Rangers today. Delino DeShields leading it off. And there you see Sin Soo Chu having quite a series with Profar, Mazzara, Gallo, Rua, Odor, Alberto, he's new to this series, and Carlos Perez behind the plate. Sox defense, and now Rick Renteria is putting him out there. It's Liuri, Adam, and Trace in the outfield left to right, with Yolmer, Tim, Yoan, and Jose in the infield. Wellington Castillo gets a nod behind the plate, and Ronaldo Lopez on the hill. Had a tough time against Pittsburgh last time out. It was the second time that he faced him in the span of about 6 or 7 days. You see 0-3 record, does not have a win to show for it, but until that Pittsburgh series, his ERA was in the 2.3s. Look at opponent's batting average, still 222, so he's thrown the ball pretty well. He learned something very important last time out, and that is it's a game of adjustment. If Pittsburgh made it, he wasn't able to, but he still is a very young starting pitcher. The umpires for the game today, Angel Hernandez has the plate, and he's the crew chief with Paul Noward at first, DJ Rayburn at second, and Scott Berry is at third. So Texas comes in really struggling defensively. That's the biggest part of their game. That's letting them down. They're 18-29. They're 11 games in back of Houston. Houston hasn't been able to pull away from a very stubborn Seattle ball club, even without Robinson Cano. Los Angeles sitting right there at 3.5 back. Our Sox come in 12-30, winners of 2 or 3 of this series, 9 games back of Cleveland. Cleveland's starting to play pretty good baseball, just a matter of time until they put this division away. They're far and away the best team in the division, and right now, Detroit and Minnesota, 2.5 games in back of the Indians. So, we're ready to play baseball, and that means I'm ready to turn it over to my play-by-play partner, Ken Harrelson.
Hi, Stone Pony. Thank you. And once again, good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to White Sox baseball right here over WGN Sports. And our 24-year-old right-hander's first pitch of the ball game is taken for a strike, says Angel Hernandez. Another very chilly day here in the city. Beautiful.
It's 45 degrees.
I mean,
this is May 20th.
I woke up this morning down in Granger.
Yeah.
Okay. I said, Siri, what's the weather in Granger today? He said, high of 74, low of whatever. I said, what's the weather in Chicago? High of 48. It's only 96 miles away.
I know. It's really amazing. The weather here has just been awful. The weather just about everywhere we go has been awful.
And you cannot blame the weatherman. You cannot blame the meteorologist. You don't know what's going to happen with this lake effect.
It's different every day, but you know one thing, it's not going to be warm. That's been consistent.
That's true. That's true. He gone. DeShields is retired.
This is Ronaldo's first look at the Rangers this year, and so because of that, it's going to be to his advantage at least the first time through the order. And keeping DeShields off base, he is their base stealer. That's a good thing. He's faced this Texas team, and they've hurt him. He's 0-1, the ERA 12.5 against him, but that's in a limited sample size.
So here's Chu. Good rip. Had made a good pass at that one. That one in 96. This guy overall has been a good player, good, solid, consistent performer. And as you mentioned, the defense of Texas. You know, we've talked about it for years. I don't care how good your pitching is. I don't care how good your hitting is. First rule in baseball and winning at the major league level is you got to catch the ball.
And Texas hasn't been able to do it, and so it's put a lot of pressure on their pitchers, both in the pen and in the starting rotation, and consequently, they're just not getting it done.
Look at our defense the first 5 weeks. It was terrible.
Yes. Infield defense getting a whole lot better these days.
Yeah. Well, it's hard to think they could get worse.
That's true. Tim Anderson has really been playing well. Yomer has played well all season long defensively. And Jose has improved his game at first. So things getting a whole lot better.
Ball ripped by Moncada. So the 1-out single by Chu. And a reminder, your 2018 Chicago White Sox are presented by Guaranteed Rate, your trusted teammate throughout the mortgage process. Experience the difference today at rate.com. Well, you said something last night, I believe it was. It's so true. As the season progresses, we're going to see a lot of things get better. You know, that's what experience is for. You got to be bad before you're good. You know that, Steve.
Except if you're Trout
there are always
or if you're
exceptions
Harper.
to the rule.
And that's it. Those are the two guys that came up twice in a generation players. But the rest of the guys, mere mortals, really struggle.
There are always exceptions. You always have your Mickey Mantles, your Willie Mays, and guys like that who can just do it all right from the beginning, right from the get-go. But as you mentioned, generational players. Profar hitting at 234. And these guys are a heck of a lot better as that's fouled and that's going to be out of play. Just like a lot of people picked this team to be a strong contender this year. And boy, that has not been the case.
Well, they're in a tough division, Hawk. When you take a look at the West and you're looking at Houston, Seattle is having a terrific year. They're 26-19. The Angels with Ohtani, that's a big story out there, and that team is 25-21. And Oakland is no slouch. They're 2 games over 500. Texas is just in a tough division.
Well, Oakland's one of the most underrated teams, I think, in the American League.
Those guys at the corners, Chapman and Olsen, are just outstanding.
Can't turn it.
Time now for our Volkswagen replay. Visit your local Volkswagen dealer or VWdealer.com. And wisely, Tim just held it. Maybe last year he'd have thrown that ball, no chance to make the play. But this year, wisely, he just put it away, took the one, and didn't risk throwing it away.
Well, I like what Moncada did. He made sure he made just a nice, true throw to Tim. Didn't give it high, low, or wide. So here's Mazzara. He's one of the few guys been swinging the bat very well, hitting a 282 with 10 long ones and 27 driven home.
He's the best hitter on this team.
Coming into the season, I would have said that the two best hitters on this team were that second baseman and him. Brunette Odor and Mazzara.
Odor's really struggled this year. No power whatsoever. Kind of amazing, a guy with 33 and 30 home runs the last 2 years respectively. Coming into this year, so far, nothing. He's got the donut.
That then it becomes, it gets to be a mental, it gets to be a head case after a while. Hitting home runs is a state of mind. And your guys who hit a lot of home runs on a consistent basis have a consistent state of mind. As he can't get it, then you get guys, evidently evidenced by Brunette, their head gets in the wrong place, and it's just hard to get it back on the track as far as hitting the long ball.
You couldn't ask for a better ballpark. That ballpark in Texas is a wonderful park for a left-hand hitter because the wind tunnel is in right center field, and yet he still has not dented the scoreboard in the home run column.
One, two. And here at Guaranteed Rate Field, 330 down the left field line, 335 down the right field line, 375 in the gaps, and 400 straightaway center field. Talking about good hitting ballparks, we're in one.
This is one of the best.
No
as far as hitters are concerned. It's very lively. Wait till it heats up and you'll see the ball just fly out of here.
Low fences all the way around. There he goes. Quick release by Wellington.
No chance at all. This ball is down. Wellington tries to get rid of it quickly, but not going to be able to get it done. He's now 2 for 2 in stolen bases. This Texas team has only swiped 20 of them. They've been caught 9 times, so they don't run often, and they don't run all that effectively.
Hard to run when you're sitting in that dugout.
It's one of the big problems.
Gotta get on base a few times before you can steal some. There's a chopper. Get over there. And they just do get him. Now they want to check it. Take a look at it. In real time, I thought he beat it.
It was very close at first, and Jose ranging wide of the bag, able to smother it. That part's good. And let's see if he gets it before he does. Looks like he got him just barely.
Just
back of the bag.
By a tick.
Yeah. So it looks like Paul Nauert made a pretty good call, and we're going to play on. Anderson, Garcia, and Abreu with Davidson, Castillo, and Moncada. Sanchez, Engel, and Thompson rounded out. We will tell you about the defense after a pitch or so.
First pitch strike to Anderson.
Mike Minor on the hill. And last year he had a very good year out of the bullpen for Kansas City. 2.55 ERA. Every one of his performances, all 65 of them, coming out of the bullpen for the Royals. Now he earned a spot in the starting rotation for Texas.
0-2 the count. It's Tim.
He's working on his changeup. It's probably his third best pitch. The fastball, the hard slider, and we're going to see one here.
Got in on him, ate him up, and 1 out.
We'll take a look at the defense, and now Jeff Bannister is going to line them up today. It's Gallo, DeShields, and Chu in the outfield, with Alberto, who's a good glove man, at third, Profar, Odor, and Rua in the infield. Carlos Perez has the plate, and Mike Minor on the hill. 3-2 this year, the ERA up over 5. Opponent's batting average of 278. That's not particularly good, but 3-2 for a ball club well under 500 is very good.
There's the strike. The Uriah 259, a couple of homers, and 11 driven in.
That was a hard slider, and he's going to throw most everything hard. He will throw the occasional changeup, but not overly so. And last year, just a good year for him. 88 strikeouts out of the bullpen in 77 2/3 innings. He probably won't throw near as hard as a starting pitcher as he did out of the pen, however.
It's amazing, a guy like Minor, who really among today's starters, we used to call them soft tossing left-handers.
Yep.
And it's amazing how many wins they used to get. I know we had a couple of clubs, the Red Sox, that I played on. We used to hate to face soft tossing left-handers.
Well, how about Bruce Chen? You always talked about Bruce Chen.
Oh,
he was the epitome of the soft tossing left-hander, and he pitched for 12 clubs, I think.
And for years, our White Sox, had soft tossing left-hander, we had no chance. Full count.
Minor decided he wouldn't sign as a 13th round pick at Tampa Bay.
Chopper 2 hopper.
The Ford Frick Award winner Eric Nadel, Texas Ranger radio man, prepared a limerick for Hawk. It's really well done. He did a great job. He does it just for fun, and he provided Hawk with one. Hawk was kind enough to sign it for Eric. Eric signed it for Hawk. And there it is. It's really good.
He's a very talented guy, Hall of Fame announcer, and as I said in his Hall of Fame acceptance speech, it's the best non-player acceptance speech I've ever heard. He did it in 2 languages.
That's really amazing. Well, he's quite a guy.
Oh, he is. He's multi-talented. It's like Ernie Harwell. Ernie Harwell was just not a great announcer. Ernie Harwell was an author, a songwriter. He had, like, I don't know, 17 songs published and done by famous artists.
I worked with Ernie. He was also just a wonderful man, and for years, I mean, he was just adored by the Detroit fans. I mean, he was adored around baseball, those of us who knew him, but boy, they love the man.
I know. I don't know if John Walgren can find it, but we did an interview with Ernie in Detroit, and it was one of the best interviews I've ever been involved in. I mean, he was just sensational.
Yeah.
Ex-Marine. He could do it all. Abreu has been hot this series. And we understand Avi had a little bit of a setback and is not going to be available until possibly late June. Avi, of course, one of, if not our best hitters on this ball club, as Abreu goes down. 1-2-3 inning for Minor, and after one, no score.
Double deals made for go-getters.
So here is Gallo. Joey hitting at 202, 13 homers, 20 driven in.
Got to be very careful with him down. He has a classic uppercut swing, and although they play him as a pull hitter, he uses left and left center a lot more than you would think.
2-0 the count.
Gallo can hit it a long way, but he doesn't make a whole lot of contact, yet he's driven in 30 runs. That's a pretty big total with his 13 home runs. And he will get the 3-0 green light.
Well, when you get a guy this strong, and especially in a nothing game early on or later in a tie game, you want him to have as many opportunities as he can get in an at bat. As there is appeared to be a little bit of a pitch around, but it's not for a leadoff hitter.
Well, as bad as the news is on Avi Garcia, Carlos Rodon is very positive. He had a great rehab start at Winston-Salem. He's going to continue his rehab at AAA Charlotte. He's going to join the Knights tomorrow. We'll start for them on Thursday, May 24th at Norfolk. So you'd have to figure that it's pretty good because he was brilliant last time out.
It was Ryan Rule. Well, besides his performance, Avi, you at 330 last year. I think that was third or fourth best in the league. Besides his performance and his growth as a hitter, we miss his presence as well in that lineup. His presence in our lineup makes it an entirely different lineup.
Well, if players observe him, they'll realize that he hasn't seen a play since he's put on that White Sox uniform where he didn't hustle full out.
Well, presence is so important. It's not talked about enough. Presence on that mound from 60 feet 6 inches, a pitcher. Hitters can sense that presence if a guy's got it. They can also sense it if he does not have it. And the same thing holds true as a hitter at the plate. Avi has a nice presence at that plate.
Last year was just a great confidence builder for him. He shortened his stroke. He really used up the middle. And with his exit velocity, a lot of ground balls that would have been fielded off the bat of somebody else went through last year. He just had a great season.
Well, with his growth period and the way it's going, the way he was trending, there's no question in my mind he would have been a candidate in the next year or 2, 3 for MVP.
Now he's going to take some PRP injections into that hamstring as part of his treatment. And they're going to limit all activities for the next 3 weeks. They want it to cool down. He did have a setback. And so the end of June, beginning of July is when we're going to have a chance to see him. And for him, it's very disappointing.
Well, he's a competitor. Here you go. 1 out. And when you get a guy like that, it's according a lot of times to the individual on how much it hurts you is a non-participant, so to speak. In this case, announcers or some of his teammates even. You just feel really doubly bad when a guy like that goes on the DL for this long.
And he feels disconnected. There's no doubt about it, because if you can't go out there and help your team every day, it's a very lonely feeling on the bench. But we've got a very inclusive ball club, and they're going to include him in any activities he wants to be included in. Obviously not baseball related, but it's just good to see him around. He's a very positive person and has been for quite some time.
So here is Odor off the end of the bat. Oh, nice little pick there. It made it look easy. 2 down. And a reminder, Sox fans and school teachers, Weather Day presented by WGN-TV is on May 24th when our White Sox take on the Baltimore Orioles at 1:10. So join WGN Chief's meteorologist, Chief Meteorologist Tom Skilling, for a fun presentation including weather videos, trivia, and more. So for more information, visit whitesox.com/WGN.
It's the first time we've seen Hanser Alberto. A couple of years ago, he was called the best defender in the minor leagues. And we'll see if he brings it with him to the big leagues, because this Texas team could use him with Beltre out. I know he's one of your favorite players, Hawk.
He's one of my all-time favorite players to watch play the game. What a great player he's been. He's a future Hall of Famer.
Disappointing that he wasn't able to play in the series, but he's had both calf and hamstring problems. And at his age, at this point, they're really starting to get to him. So he's on the shelf for an indeterminate amount of time.
Man loves to play the game of baseball. They get him. And after the leadoff walk, 1, 2, 3, and we'll go to the bottom of the second. Still no score.
It's sponsored by UI Health, providing expert care for you and your family. UI Health, changing medicine for good. Learn more at uihealth.care. nice balloons, and a good day for it. Turning out to be a nice day here, although it's very chilly, but we had a lot of rain this morning, a little rain this afternoon, but it's gone, and there will be baseball.
Yeah, I called Bob Grimm on the way in, and it was, I mean, I was just a little south of Gary, and it was absolutely a cow on the flat rock. Yeah. And I said, Bobby, what's the story here? I said, I left Granger, it was 73, 74 degrees. He started laughing. He said, we're going to be all right. Matt Davison can't get it. Matt leading the club in home runs and RBIs. 246, 11 long ones, and 28 driven in. The one thing that also goes into play here with our club in their growth is the fact that you got and we've got the right guy running the show in Rick Renteria, is that he's got to make sure that guys like Davidson and Avi, when he comes back, don't try to do too much.
I think Matt's been pretty good at that because he's getting much more selective.
He has.
This is the most selective we've ever seen.
He's been terrific at it. A little too selective right there.
Talk a little bit about, because I know you're a big proponent in the mental aspect of this endeavor. You always talk about the fact that when your mirror starts to like you, when you look in the mirror and you like yourself, the mirror shows you can do it. Tell me about the transition from a guy who's feeling his way to a guy who you like what you see in the mirror.
If I could answer that question, Stevie, I would buy you a new Mercedes. No, you just got a new one, didn't you?
No.
I know one thing. The only guy that I know that would have a chance to answer that question would be, I hope he's still there, Dick Schwartz, who's one of the world famous psychologists over in Oak Park. He might have an answer for that. But from an athletic standpoint, Paul Richards, who you're familiar with.
Yep.
We were playing golf one day, and he told me, he said, son, you got a chance to be a heck of a hitter. I know you're struggling right now, which I was. He said, but one day what good hitters do, he said, most of the time good hitters are not born. What happens is they go out there and they're struggling and they work hard. They don't get down on themselves too much. They keep working hard, and pretty soon one morning you wake up and you look in that mirror, and that mirror says to you, son, you can hit up here in the major leagues. And that's exactly what happened to me, and it was against the Chicago White Sox in Kansas City.
It turned everything around.
Hey, he just looks up and you can put it on the board. Yes. Hey, Bob. Castillo torched him, barbecued him.
That's the 6th home run. He's now driven in 14, and that one was not a cheapie. That had gone out regardless of which way the wind was blowing. The wind very much a non-factor today, and Wellington hit the daylights out of that. We'll take another look. This is a fastball. It's on the inner half, and Wellington knew he got every bit of that.
He had one like that against us when he was with the Cubs.
Yeah, that one was long gone.
And of course, another beautiful donation. Alex Snellius, in loving memory of Ursula.
8th home run that Miner's given up. That's in 44 innings.
Moncada hitting at 269, 6 homers, 15 knocked in, but Paul was so right. You know, it's the old thing, you got to sacrifice and pay the price. And that is so true. If you don't want to sacrifice and pay the price, you're not going to come out of it. You've played with guys as I have. I have played with guys that had so much talent, it was just unreal how much talent, 5-tool talent. And you knew they were never going to make it.
And guys that do make it but never get out of their ability what they should have gotten out of their ability, which is really, really sad and disappointing.
Well, that's more the norm than the other.
Oh, that's true.
A nice pick, Alberto. Made that look easy. 2 down.
I told you about the glove work in the minor leagues, and we've seen him in the major leagues, and this is a dandy of a play. You goes down, it's the long hop, not the short hop, able to corral it and then get it over in plenty of time.
Steve, I think today it's really more difficult for guys to come out of that syndrome, so to speak, that we're talking about, when you're down on yourself and just really struggling. I think it's more difficult than it's ever been.
Why is that? Because they have so many more advantages with video and coaches. There's 2 hitting coaches for every team, and you can watch video of every one of your at-bats for as long as you want to watch it. So why would it be more difficult?
Too much information.
Overload? Information overload?
Exactly. Exactly. Too much information. When you start getting inundated with numbers like our guys are getting, not our guys, I'm talking about baseball players, not just White Sox, but every team. What happens is the more that you get inundated with these numbers and mechanics and everything, the more of your childlike qualities are diminished. And it's important for a lot of guys to keep those childlike qualities in play. And that's one reason Latin players can do that a lot better than our guys here in America, as he strikes him out with a long home run by Wellington Castillo and his 1-0 Good Guys. One nothing Sox. Top of the 3rd inning. Carlos Perez, the catcher. Perez hitting at 143, a homer and an RBI. Yeah, but the psychological aspect of the game today is, I think, deeply hampered, because to me, that's one of the greatest things that a person, not just a player, but a person can have, is his childlike qualities. That's off the plate. Yeah, if you're a right-handed hitter and you're up there at the plate, you're thinking from the plate back. There's a rocket right at him. Misjudged it. So that will be a double for Perez.
Well, Perez knew that he was going to get a fastball. It was 3-1. And Lopez threw it down the middle, and then it froze Liuri in left field. He couldn't read it at all. It goes over his head. This ball is hit very hard. Liuri frozen in his tracks, and then, oops. Yeah, no chance at that point.
No.
You got to break straight back on that, or you've got problems. And when a ball's hit right at you, it is really difficult to judge.
Well, there, besides using your eyes, that's where you got to use your ears as well.
Yeah, that ball sounded like it exploded.
So here's DeShields. Nobody out. And a second. Shields struck out swinging on a fastball, leading off the ball game. Yeah, but if you're thinking from the plate back, that's mechanics. If you're thinking from the plate forward, that's approach. Plate back is problems. Plate forward is solutions. Now, how do you solve problems? With solutions. So you move your thought process, which is an approach to the front of the plate, out in front of the plate. You're a good golfer, and you know yourself. If you go out to play and you're thinking from the ball back, you're thinking about some angle back in here that you're trying to get your swing, you can't score.
How long does it take a ball player to really get to the point where they start thinking approach and start forgetting about mechanics?
Some of them never get there. Some of them never get there. They're not, you know why? Because they're not allowed to. More information, more numbers.
You get a lot of that.
More launch angles. More exit velocities. Less childlike instincts. Less fun. You've had games when you went out there, especially in 1980 when you won a Cy Young. You had games when you actually played with hitters. You toyed with them.
Well, when it's rolling, you really are not thinking very much because everything's going great. And there's no reason to start overthinking the problem because your arm's in the right position, your follow through is good, the stuff is lively. It's the other days with less than your best that you've got to really think your way through.
That's when you have to have an approach. Yeah. Because if you're in that shape mentally, I play with too many good pitchers, and the really good ones that I play with, they were good on a consistent basis. They grinded hard, no question about that, but they actually had fun out there on the mound. Full count. Chew on deck. Oh yeah. Got him upstairs on a breaking ball.
Usually high sliders don't work very well, but with the Shields, he's missed a couple of them in the early going, and here's another one.
Well, actually, as you just alluded to, that's just a really good pitch to hit because it was a 3-2 get me over breaking ball, and usually those go a long way.
And Lopez, because he's a short armer, has a tendency to get under the ball. When you get under the ball, everything stays up, and that's when he'll get hurt, but he got away with one to the Shields.
Chu. Lined a single hard into right field. Shin-Sin Chu. Shin-Soo Chin. Shin-Soo Chu.
He's been a good hitter for a long time.
You better believe it. He's been a good 7th, 8th, and 9th inning hitter, too. Backhanded. 2 down.
The third inning is brought to you by the Subway Triple Play. Text Subway to 97999 and a 300th texter is going to win a $30 gift card. Subway, so much sandwich. Well, apparently that's me. I probably will not win because I'm very slow these days.
Your nose is getting heavier, I know that.
I know, and my hands are getting shorter, but you know that already.
Jurickson Profar yanks that one foul.
Profar, a switch hitter who's better from the right side, has a bit more power from the left side, however. Getting an opportunity to play because Elvis Andrus has a broken elbow. no timetable on his return. So Texas lost their entire left side of the infield. And Andrews and Beltre are two quality players lost to the Rangers, and that really hurts them.
Well, whenever you lose the leader of a ball club, you're going to be in trouble to some extent, especially in a division like that. And that, of course, is Beltre.
Yeah, he's just a delightful person and a wonderful player and loves to play the game.
He and Miguel Cabrera, two of my all-time favorites to watch. The only guy I've ever seen at third base. I played against some great third basemen, and I've seen a lot of great third basemen. All right. 57 years in this game. The only third baseman I would take over Beltre, overall, everything considered, would be George Brett.
George ran a whole lot better.
And George could hit.
And for average, he could hit.
But he could not.
Beltre.
His leather was not even the same category of Beltre's.
Beltre was one of the all-time best defensively.
Yeah.
He is one of the all-time best, assuming he's going to come back, and I think he is.
And they both love to play the game. He gone. He leaves him out there, and it's 1-0. Good guys.
I know it's something that you might not have prepared for, but we're just going to roll it out there and see what you think.
Thanks.
It's Carl Yastrzemski. Carl, go ahead.
Hello.
Yes, what's going on, buddy?
Hey, Honk, how you doing?
Okay. Just winding it down as we talked about, what, a couple of months ago at our 50th anniversary.
Yeah, I know, but you're too young to retire.
No, you know, you can go to hell for lying like you can for stealing. How you doing, buddy?
Good, real good.
You playing golf, what, 3 times a week or 2 times a week and fishing 5 days a week?
Well, I'm into the fishing now, golf during the winter time.
I tried to get Dick Gordon. I tried to get him on the phone, couldn't get in touch with him. Something I want to talk to you about. Well, I'll get in touch with him. We'll get together.
Okay, good. How's everything going with you?
Everything's good. Everything's going good. I've been watching a lot of Walker, Texas Ranger, and sipping a little Smirnoff, you know.
Yeah. Well, that's good.
Carl Yastrzemski, for you youngsters out there, is a teammate of mine in Boston. He won a Triple Crown in 1967. And to this day, is the greatest clutch hitter in the 7th, 8th, and 9th inning that I've ever seen. And I don't care who was pitching. And also to this day was the greatest left fielder that I've ever seen to this day. And a little bitty guy, 178 pounds. And remember, we used to weigh in every day together?
Yeah, yeah.
I was 188 and he was 178. Now I'm about 225. And I saw a little bit of a gut on you up there in Boston.
Yeah, I'm hanging right around 200.
Oh, yeah.
It's tough to keep it off.
Well, yeah, as you take care of yourself, buddy. You know, I love you. You know that.
Oh, I know that, and I love you too, Ken.
All right, buddy. I'll see you soon.
And
Hopefully.
It was a pleasure playing with you.
I enjoyed it.
Have a great one.
You too. Bye-bye.
Okay. Bye-bye.
What a player. What a player. I learned more about hitting behind him when he won a Triple Crown than I did from any hitting coach I ever had.
Well, the Hall of Fame inductee in 1989 would have been a whole lot sooner, but he refused to retire. He played a long time.
You know, he played 23 years in the major leagues. He was like a cat. He only got hit 40 times.
That's amazing to me.
You couldn't hit him. I remember Jim Cott one day tried 3 pitches in a row, and Jim, he was like Farmer. Jim didn't want to hit him. He wanted to knock him out. He didn't want to knock him down, and he couldn't do it. And finally, Yaz just got the third time, Yaz looked at him and smiled, then hit a slider over everything out there in left center field. As that's out number 1. Adam is gone. But what a player. Excuse me, Trace Thompson. Trace is gone. Adam with a single. Yeah, but very, very interesting guy he was. I remember a game here in Chicago, and he was struggling. And I hit behind him. Of course, I had him down. I knew exactly where his hands were supposed to be in relationship with his helmet, his ear hole and everything. So he comes to me because he didn't ask anybody anything about anything. Most of the time, it's there he goes, and there's a base hit. So Liuri. First and third, 1 out. Or Tim, I should say. So he comes to me after the game. He says, have breakfast with me in the morning. I want to talk to you. And I knew what he wanted to talk about. I go up to his suite. He had asked me the night before, what do you want for breakfast? I said, eggs and bacon stuff, normal. He had the eggs and bacon there. You know what he was having?
I can guess.
Pizza.
Well, that's good for breakfast.
Pizza and a bottle of Beaujolais.
Well, that might be stretching the breakfast idea, but the pizza's a good idea.
As here's Liuri, grounded out to third. He's a very interesting guy. And then at night, a lot of times after a game, we go out for dinner, and he'd have eggs and bacon. Just the opposite.
Notre Dame guy, wasn't he?
Went to Notre Dame.
Must have been a smart guy, because they don't exactly give degrees away there.
Well, I'll tell you what, he was. I used to follow him after a game because, Fenway Park, getting out of there after a game is tough sometimes. And there were a lot of one-way streets. Well, he would go down those one-way streets, but they were only one way for him. So I would follow him.
I don't think they were going to write him a ticket in those days in Boston.
That's why I followed him.
They'd write you a ticket. They wouldn't write him a ticket.
There he goes. Oh, boy, he got a Lance Johnson jump.
That's 11 stolen bases. Tim Anderson on a team that is among baseball's leaders in stolen bases. Tim is right up there with 11 of them.
Pokes that one into right field, and that's going to get the job done as it falls in. Good read right there. Here's the throw to the plate. Safe!
The Tim was right behind Adam Engel, so great speed on the bases, and Tim just outran the ball. But
that's a great read.
Yeah, he did a great job of it. Chu doesn't have a real good arm these days. He used to have one, but he takes a while to deliver the ball. And Leary just pokes it into right field. He drives home his 12th and 13th run. See how long it takes Chu to get rid of the baseball. Had he gotten it and thrown it home right away, Tim probably couldn't have scored, but that hesitation allowed Tim, along with that great slide, to flash by Perez and score.
Here's Abreu. Struck out his first trip. Takes up high. Three, 4-0 for us if you're just tuning in. 0-2-0 for them. And let's check out our picks to click right now. There you see, fans went with Engel. Cruz going with Leary. Steve's going with Tim Anderson, who's having a good game. J.J. Shearer, George Jacobs, and David Novak and I. We're going to go with Yolmer Sanchez.
Your first instinct is always correct, you know.
I know.
And I remember who you picked.
Yeah. Wellington Castillo originally, but
you've been riding a hot horse. I mean, Yolmer has been awfully good for you.
Yolmer's been awfully good for everybody.
Yeah, having a very nice year.
He's going to get better and better. One and two.
Jose trying to extend that 10-game hitting streak. During that streak, hitting .447. His best streak, a 21 gamer, 2014.
Full count.
Tim Anderson, with his great speed, his stolen base, able to score that run.
There goes Leary, and that ball hit hard. Stretch! Get over his head. Dadgummit. Leary's going to have to come back, touch second, and then get back to first. He just missed it, caught it towards the end of the bat.
Nice job by Leary, because he had taken 2 steps around second base. If that ball falls, he's probably going to score. And realizing you have to retouch the bag, he does that and scampers back. And Jose did get it off the end of the bat. Shows you how strong he is, because the sweet spot was about 5 inches or so, a little bit further toward the handle of the bat. And Leary, he crosses, has to come back, retouch, and back to first.
Oh, and 1 the count to Matt. Matt struck out his first trip. Minor with 4 strikeouts. And that change up outside.
Baltimore comes to town tomorrow. We get a 4-game series. The weather is supposed to be very nice for the series. And you get a chance to see Manny Machado. The year he's having is all world. So the Orioles come to town, and they're here for Monday night, Tuesday night, Wednesday night, Thursday day, and the finale of the series and the homestand. Then it's off to Detroit and Cleveland.
He's a special player, no question about that.
Special player is going to be a free agent and really cash in nicely.
As he gets called out for the 2nd time. But the Sox come up with a pair, and we lead at 3-0.
Anderson has it in abundance. He's also getting much better instincts. He realized it's going to fall, and then Chu took a whole lot of time delivering the ball. By the time he did, Anderson was able to fly by and beat him. Kid's a bundle of talent, and he's starting to play better and better with each passing day.
The talent is there. There's no question. That's not an issue. But you know what experience is? It's something you got when you didn't want to get it.
He's getting it.
He's getting it.
They turned over the position and said, it's yours. Get comfortable. You're going to be there for a long time.
That's why managing in the big leagues today is tougher and more important than it's ever been. And especially in a rebuilding situation like we're in, you got to have a manager that's got a ton of patience.
And Ricky Renteria does that. He went through a similar situation on the other side of town, could not see it to fruition because Joe Madden became available. Ricky does thank the Cubs, though, for giving him his first opportunity to manage. It's set up coming over here. He's presiding over another rebuild. Only this time, he will be allowed to see it to fruition.
Well, I think that we got two of the best managers in the game in this city.
Yeah, two good ones is right.
Softly hit. Mazara's retired. He's 0 for 2. And parents, register your little one for the White Sox Kids Club during your next trip to Guaranteed Rate Field. Now, membership is completely free and available to any kid 13 and under. So stop by the Xfinity Kids Zone located in left field to secure a custom Kids Badge ID. That's a custom Kids Club ID badge. Visit whitesox.com/kids. Leary. Two down.
Today, Southpaw was there. Some players attended. Autograph day. There's Chris Beck. There's Adam Engel. There's Yolmer. And Jose Rondon rounded out. Fans really enjoyed the fact that the players were there to sign autographs for them. Next one will be June 3rd.
Little tardy right there.
There's the paw. And the kids certainly are drawn to Southpaw, even if it's not the animated Southpaw.
0-1 pitch to Rua, who struck out his first trip, takes strike 2.
That's a little slider, but good enough. Late movement and he throws it in the zone quite a bit.
There was the Steve Stone 0-2 fastball.
And he got him. Strike three.
He called it. Now, Jeff Bannister wants to know what happened. Meanwhile, they're departing the field, and we still lead at 3-0.
Definitive proof on the other side of the equation. It was called strike three, the initial call by Angel Hernandez. So this is an unusual challenge. It's relatively early in the game. Take a look at it here. It looked like it might have caught the knob of the bat, but you can't really tell, and they're taking their time in New York.
Well, unless it hit the fingers of the mitt, the ball did change direction. So it could have been, as I said, it's got to be conclusive, and that certainly does not look like conclusive evidence that he missed it or it missed him.
He did.
Foul
He's
tip,
out.
he's out. So now we'll go to the bottom of the inning, bottom of the fourth, where we'll get a 3-0. And we'll take another break, and we'll be back.
Castillo. That was with 1 out in the second inning. 106.4 on the exit velocity. And not exactly a line drive, but pretty close to it. Visit your local Ford store, buyfordnow.com.
Miners, first pitch. Breaking ball strike. Three nothing White Sox. Oops. And the count 0-2. Miner out of Knoxville, Tennessee. That ball is killed. Got a hanger right off the Modelo sign. And that's going to be a single. A hard single.
Can't hit it any harder. And Gallo right there on the carom. Now he's got a very strong arm. He's not overly accurate as that ball was off the mark. However, Wellington could not test the arm. This is a rolling breaking ball up in his eyes, and he almost hits his second home run of the afternoon in 2 at-bats. But it pelted the wall, and Gallo right there on the carom. I guess Wellington's seeing him pretty well.
A lot of guys going to hit that pitch hard. Right off that Modelo sign. We had a family outing last night, and there was a lot of Modelo consumed. Especial.
Boys are swinging the bat pretty well here today. 5 hits.
Well, you know yourself. You've been out there many times. When you get good pitches to hit, usually you're going to swing the bat pretty good.
No doubt. And a roller up in your eyes is going to get tattooed.
And then you get the guys is there. He's gone.
Last night, Lucas Giolito was able to spot his fastball, and that really served him well. He said he made an adjustment during the course of the game and then poured over the fastball, strike after strike, going 6 innings, giving up 3 runs. He gave up 2 in the second, 1 unearned in the third. And those are prominent number 27s. Ken Kravik, a teammate of mine. Jeff Blum, a World Series hero, hitting a home run in Game 3. And Lucas Giolito, 3 wins.
His previous outing, it was just amazing. He just couldn't throw a strike.
No, he walked 7, but he had the composure and the ability to come back and win that ball game.
That is what it takes.
Yep.
When you're having a tough, I mean, he threw some pitches in that previous start that I was watching and I'm saying to myself, you know, this young man, he's got what it takes. Remember last year when he came up, the starts he had, he just spotted everything. He was almost pinpoint.
I was going to say, he had 7 starts, an ERA in the 2 3s, and throwing the ball as well as you could possibly throw it. And the curveball was good, and the slider was good. But this year, terrible weather, Hawk. He really never got the feeling for it, and he's carried it over. But now it seems like he's worked it out.
I think in some cases, the terrible weather like that is a lot worse for pitchers than it is for hitters. Even though hitters don't like it, don't like to hit, because that's popped up right side. Get out of here, you won't. So 2 down.
And when you can't feel your fingers and you have a good breaking ball, it's impossible to throw.
Well, you just mentioned the operative word, feel.
Yep. Yep. If you don't have that for a pitcher because it's a finesse position, you have some problems. You got a fastballer, that's okay, because he doesn't really have to feel his hands all that much.
I remember playing here. Eddie Stanky was the manager. We were playing the White Sox. I'm with Boston, so we come in here to play them. Big game. Jim Lonborg is pitching for us. I'm playing first base in that game. George Scott had I think a bad hamstring. Anyway, bottom of the first inning, Lonnie calls me over. I said, "What's up?" He goes, "My fingers are cold."
Yeah, because it's probably pretty cold.
No, Stanky had the balls put in the freezer.
Oh, jeez.
And the ball was like an ice cube.
Home field advantage.
Yeah. And from a hitting standpoint, you could kill it and maybe get it to the warning track, because we had some bombs on. We had some hammer on our club. The White Sox didn't. Eddie Stanky. Plus, I remember hitting a hard ground ball out in front of home plate, and it almost just stuck right there where he had watered.
They softened it up a touch, did they?
Yeah.
So he wanted all the advantages.
Well, I'll tell you what, White Sox that year had by far the best pitching of anybody in that race, but they couldn't score.
That wasn't unusual for that era.
No. Nope.
Sox fan, Ranger fan, enjoying the game, talking it over.
2 out and the 1-2. High over by the tarp, and it's going to drift out of play. That ball right there was pretty close to being a home run. He was just a hair too quick on it.
There's a Bear fan, and it is Bear weather.
Of course, then you always have the exceptions to the rule. We had a pitcher here, Alex Fernandez. If it was 50 and below, you could book it and send it to Cooperstown. He was going to beat you.
Unusual for a pitcher out of Florida, wasn't it?
Yeah.
He's still
Harry
part.
said, as Harry said in that one game, when the third baseman, high pop up, he lost it in the sun. Steve, he's from Dominican Republic. How can he lose a pop up in the sun?
Yeah, that was it.
What was that, Eduardo? Who was that playing third base in that game?
I think it was Ray Sanchez. I think.
No, it was the third baseman. John Walgren thinks it was Sanchez too. As he gets him. So that is 7 strikeouts for Minor.
Famer Mike Schmidt and Adrian Beltre. The home runs for Schmidt. He's got more of them. But runs batted in, hits, and batting average favor Beltre. Beltre will be in the hall. Schmidt already is. It's two great third basemen. Beltre's still active, and hopefully he's got a couple of years left. Shop in-store or online at mybobs.com as you dare to compare.
As I said earlier, I played against some great third basemen. I've seen a lot of them over the years. The only guy that I would have taken over Adrian is Brett. And that's everything considered. That's everything considered. George couldn't come close to feeling like Adrian. But a lot of National Leaguers will tell you, in their opinion, Mike Schmidt's greatest third baseman ever lived.
He was a terrific third baseman. They also had the Boyer brothers, Cleet in the American League and Ken in the National League. And
well, Cleet was the most
terrific.
underrated. Cleet was as good as Brooks defensively. And I told Cleet about that. And Cleet said he was a horrible third baseman for a long time until he learned how to get his fanny down. And once he did that, he almost had it on the ground before every pitch.
Nettles was the same thing.
Greg
Nettles
was a butcher when he played with me in Cleveland. He was a butcher.
Not when he went to the Yankees.
He learned how to get his behind down. Bare hands, nice peg, nice play.
That was a terrific play. You don't like the bare hand pickup, but if that's the only thing you have. And Odor got down the line quickly, but he couldn't beat the arm of Lopez. This is just an outstanding effort. He comes over. He's got to do it this way. It's a do or die bare hand. He manipulates the baseball to get it in a throwing position, and then he does. Good effort.
Alberto grounded out to short. Yeah, you youngsters out there, if you're an infielder, you have got to learn how to get your fanny down. That takes the glove down, and that means that you have a chance, if it's a little bit of a bad hump, to make a play. If you got the glove up, you got no chance. That ball into left field. Off the end of the bat, Leary is there. So Alberto is retired. And a reminder, bring your family of 4 to a White Sox game for as low as $49. Our family 4-pack includes 4 tickets, 4 hot dogs, 4 chips, 4 sodas. That's a pretty good deal. Upper level and lower level packages are available, so check out all the available dates at whitesox.com/4packs today.
I'd have to rent a family to get those 4 hot dogs, though.
They'd have to fight you for them.
And then give them some peanuts and some popcorn.
Steve is a hamburger and hot dog fanatic.
Well, I keep looking at that Vienna beef sign by our dugout up there, and every game it looks better and better.
Stops that one foul.
There it is. Dylan Covey loosening in the pen. Obviously not to come into this one.
He's been pitching well.
The odds are overwhelming, Hawk, that he's probably going to fill the spot in the starting rotation. He was throwing very well at AAA. He's shown some good signs up here.
He has.
Yep. Nice arm. He was a Rule 5 draft. Sox kept him for a year.
Softly hit. And a nice 1-2-3 inning. We're halfway home, leading 3-0.
National grade. And last night, the Knights lost to Columbus. Not the Knights of Columbus, but they lost. And Birmingham, well, they lost to Montgomery. And Winston-Salem got rained out, but Kannapolis defeated Hickory last night 3-2. Carlos Rodon was brilliant. It earned him now his next start up in AAA, and he's getting ever closer to the major leagues. He'll need probably a couple of starts, and hopefully we'll see him in the not too distant future.
Trey struck out his first trip. Pull the string on him. That change up at 84. Now feels slightly to the right. And he rings him up. That's 8 strikeouts for Minor. And sports fans, the Bull Sox Youth Academy runs summer camps in basketball, baseball, and fast pitch softball for boys and girls ages 5 to 12. Now the Academy offers locations all around Chicagoland. Campers receive a stadium tour experience, ticket vouchers, and much, much more. So call 630-PLAY-BALL or visit bullsoxacademy.com for more information. Here's Tim. He's 1 for 2 with a stolen base and a run scored. Go far, right over the top. Jose Valentin move right there.
Did a nice job of starting to set up before he got the baseball and then poured it straight over the top. He doesn't have the greatest shortstop's arm because he played a lot of second base. With Odor here, with Andrus here, I'm not sure exactly where he's going to play when Andrus comes back. Plants the back foot straight over the top and gets it there in plenty of time.
Yeah, that's close to being a classic move. Jose Valentin had the classic move, throwing from shortstop.
There are not many shortstops these days that throw from straight over the top.
No. And that's one of the reasons they're so good, because they're making plays that a lot of guys who had to throw over the top couldn't make. You get guys today, they're throwing from where they catch it. Leary, 1 for 2, but it knocked in 2 runs back in the 3rd inning. Sox with 1 in the 2nd and 2 in the 3rd. Two out, 2 balls, 2 strikes. Up the middle and into center field.
Hard hit ball, and Leary now 2 for 3. That's against his former mates. He was a member of the Texas Rangers. Always a little sweeter when you come through with a base hit against a team that decided to part ways with you.
Here's Abreu. Struck out his first trip. Then in the 3rd inning, hit a deep fly on the track into left center field. Just muscled it out there, caught it towards the end of the bat. Finale of this 4-game series as Leary with a good lead. Played golf with AJ Pierzynski the other day. He asked me about Leary. Of course, he was a teammate of Leary's down in Texas. And I told him, I said, he's coming along.
Well, he can play everywhere. There's no doubt about that.
I remember when we first got him, I talked to AJ and I said, tell me what we're getting here. He said, Hawk, you're getting a ton of talent. That's what you're getting.
Tony Barnett loosening up. AJ's hair changed a bit. Got the beard now. A little bit wider than he was.
Well, AJ has not changed, I'll tell you that. Way out in front. And that'll retire the side. We'll go to the 6th, leading by 3. It's the top of the order for the Wranglers. Delano DeShields, 0 for 2 with 2 strikeouts. One on a swinging fastball, the other on a hanging slider. Takes first pitch strike. Good try, just missed. And the count 2-1. Just tuning in, Sox with 1 in the second. That was a tremendous home run. I mean, a bomb off the bat of Wellington Castillo. His 6th of the season. And 2-run single by Leary in the 3rd. He gone. That's 10 in a row retired by Ronaldo.
3 strikeouts in a row for DeShields. All of them swinging. This is a really good slider. Tight spin, disappears late, and Delano DeShields is just not seeing the ball from Lopez.
He's retired 13 out of the last 14 as well.
Just two base hits, a single to Chu in the 1st inning, a double leading off the 3rd to Perez, and that is it.
That double should have been caught.
Yeah, was not played well. The This young man has just got a world of talent. He has one of the great arms in this entire pitching staff.
Who did you remind you of a little bit?
Boy, I don't know. Well, if he pitches like the man you're talking about, Bartolo Colon,
That's him.
he's going to have quite a career. And Bartolo, by the way, is still winning games, and he's 100 years old.
I talked to some Texas people before the game. They told me by far he's the best pitcher on the team.
It's really amazing. He's been the most consistent pitcher they have, and he throws almost all fastballs, which is astonishing at his age.
I'll tell you what he does, and he has done it for a long time. He works his fastball. He can work a fastball better than anybody I've ever seen.
Either way, make it move into the right-hander, make it move away from the right-hander. They're all fastballs. Doesn't use the middle of the plate at all. He caught a line drive in the stomach the other day, by the way. That one right back. I mean, a rocket back. Well, I'm surprised they got the baseball back. But in any event, he picked it up, threw the guy out, and it was it was really something.
I love Bartolo. When he was here, I'll tell you what, he's a funny guy.
Well, he came up with the Cleveland Indians, and I saw him for the first time that first year that he came up. And I remember watching a ball game, 150 pitches for a complete game, and on the 150th pitch, he threw a fastball 100 miles an hour.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, he was one of those guys that when he got to 7th, 8th, and 9th in a close game, he'd ramp it up to 98, 99, 100, 101.
Unbelievable arm. A lot of people watching him now can't believe that he threw that hard, but he was one of the hardest throwers in baseball.
Breaking ball.
Time now for Toyota Going Places. And it's the career of Bartolo Colon. 242 wins to 177 losses. That's unbelievable. ERA just over 4. 3,366 innings. 37 complete games. And opponent's batting average of 266. Bartolo, bear in mind that a lot of that numbers, opponent's batting average, that was accumulated late in his career because he's pitched forever. So is the ERA because during his glory days, you just didn't hit him that well.
Well, his last year with us, that was his free agent season. And when the season was over, Kenny tried like the devil to get him. Made him a terrific offer. I mean, a big offer. And don't you know, at the last second, Angels come in and offered him a year more with $12 million more, so he took it.
They did that with Torrey Hunter also. Same
Torrey
thing.
Hunter the same way. They did that at Taco Bell.
Yep. Sox had him. They put another year on, a few more bucks. Torrey Hunter.
A few more.
Became an Angel. Well, considerably more.
Well, that year he went out. Bartolo went out there. The Angels and won the Cy Young.
He was some pitcher and a great teammate.
That's why I loved him so much. I know a lot of guys that were good pitchers, but you know, okay, pat him on the fanny, say nice going. But Bartolo was different. It's like almost like Mark Burley. Bartolo, I remember we were in Anaheim, as a matter of fact, and our staff was tired. The bullpen had really been tired. So he was pitching the next night. So we're back in the back room, you know, getting a little cocktail and off the end of the bat. Bobbled. Safe. So Yolmer very uncharacteristically makes an error.
That one came with a lot of spin, and he had some time because Profar
He just took his eye off
Yeah,
it.
he just missed it. As easy as that. Tried to scramble back. Almost got him at first, but not quite.
But we're in the back room, and Bartolo, I'm standing there. He comes back. He looks at me. He goes, honk. Not hawk. He couldn't say honk. He said honk. I go 9 mañana. And sure enough, he went out. He went 9 innings. The rest of the bullpen, you know. And
one of his 37 complete games.
Zara. So that breaks a streak of 11 in a row retired by Ronaldo. Gap in left center field. That ball hit hard. Stay in here. It will. Thank you very much. That's a hang with them by Mazzara, and that'll retire the side.
End of the inning is Edamango goes back, makes the play. When you think of garages, think Danley's. That was almost the 8th home run of the month of May. And right there with Lindor and Martinez, they've got 8 apiece, and then Mazar, Adams, Upton, and Betts. And we still have about a week and a half left in May. So a new pitcher comes in. It's Tony Barnett on for the 10th time. His ERA at 3.10. He's got a good fastball. Opponent's batting average a paltry 167.
That'll work. Matt's glad to see Minor out of there. Good job, really. Good job by Mike Minor.
Threw it pretty well. He gave up the 3 runs. He didn't walk anybody.
Well, that 2-run single by Leary is just a little duck snort out there.
And that was it. That's really the big blow of the game, and a towering home run by Wellington in the second.
He had 9 strikeouts. Three, 6, and 1 for us. 0-2-0 for them. You're in the finale of this 4-game set. Took a little something off that breaking ball and way out in front. You know something you don't see hardly anymore? As he gets him.
3 strikeouts, 3 times looking.
Is that you don't see pitchers when they get into the windup. Watch my left toe.
You're talking about raising that leg straight in front?
Yeah, with the toe pointing right at home plate.
There was a guy that did that pitched for the White Sox long ago. Remember Dick Donovan?
Yeah, I faced Tricky Dick and that spitter he had.
Had anything to do with that toe toward the plate?
No. We used to see quite a few pitchers. They would take their windup and that toe would be pointing right at the hitter, right at home plate. And almost everybody did that was a good pitcher. That ball hit into right center field. Wellington. Now they have almost a little collision. So that's 2 out. And Sox fans, join us as our Sox take on the Milwaukee Brewers Saturday, June 2nd at 1:10. Have a chance to see Bob Uecker. First 20,000 fans will receive a replica 1983 road jersey presented by Xfinity, the fastest internet in Chicago. Purchase your tickets today by visiting whitesox.com or calling 866-SOX-GAME. Bob Uecker. What a great guy.
What a wonderful career he's had.
Oh, yeah.
Avid golfer, avid fisherman, wonderful broadcaster, star of television and commercials.
And one of the toughest guys you're ever going to see. He was really good with his hands. I mean, really good.
Well, with that bat, you'd have to figure he did something for the ball club.
He was good, good with the leather, not too good with the lumber. Moncada, ground out to third and a strikeout. Uecker, thank goodness, has gone through a lot physically in the last decade and overcame it.
We're going to see him. They're going to be coming to town for a weekend series.
I'll see him. Yeah, I'll have a chance to.
Be nice to see you. Just a wonderful man.
Grabs the strike with that one. So a full count with 2 down.
A lot of young fans at the game today. That young man has a sign. That's a way to get on television.
High pop up profile. Nice quick inning for Tony. And we're into the 7th.
the race that determines who's the fastest of the broadcast crew. And of course, DJ wins it, and that's like a no-brainer. You and I are last and second last, which is also a no-brainer. We should get a handicap. Like start, I don't know, 5 minutes before they do.
That doesn't bother me anymore.
Yeah.
Oh, boy. Wow, put a good pass on that one. That guy is so strong. Joey Gallo. A walk, a pop-up to left. Now another pop-up to left.
Meanwhile, Ronaldo is rolling right along. He's handcuffed him on just 2 hits.
He's not messing around with the middle of the plate too much.
No. He's had a very good day. He was very disappointed in his last outing, and he rededicated himself. I talked to Eric Nadel before he came over, and I told him that Ronaldo was going to have a good bounce-back appearance after that disaster in Pittsburgh. And he has just that.
Boy, I watched that game. And that's all he did all in that outing was mess around with the middle of the plate.
And they really jumped on him early, gave up 4 hits right off the top in 11 pitches. They went up there swinging early in the count and made the most of it. And it was the second time he faced him in a week, and it's difficult for young men to make the adjustment. He had thrown very well against him here, but facing him twice in a week, first time he'd ever done that with a ball club. They made the adjustment to him, and he was too young really to make that adjustment to them.
Well, in my experience in this game, you certainly have a lot more Latin pitchers now, because that's high, than in my time zone. And I've noticed that over the years that you're much better off when you step in that box ready to jump on that first pitch, because they are very aggressive. That's how they learned. That's how they grew up. And they're going to come right at you. Every now and then you get a finesse type guy, you know, who's not a real hard thrower, and that's a different story. But on the average Latin pitcher is going to come right at you.
Alex Claudio loosening in the bullpen. We've seen him in the series.
Another guy that's tough to hit.
Oh, that changeup is something.
He's fun to watch.
But he lost his closer role because guys were taking him to right field. And in this series, the Sox try to pull him and pretty much playing into what he wants you to do.
Odor. Tell you, that was pretty good swing he put on that pitch. Another pretty good swing. You don't do what he's done the last 2 years, and then all of a sudden, poof, lose it.
No, it's really a mystery why he's hitting where he's hitting, which is in the high 160s after his 0 for 2 today.
Well, what's the mystery? There's no home runs.
Yep.
That's low. Another pretty good swing. You just, again, we touched on it earlier. When you got a club that's supposed to be hitting and they're not, and then you lose your leader, which they did in Beltre, and everybody's struggling. These guys hitting 229 as a team. And you get a guy who starts off bad like Odor has, and he tries to do too much. He just buries himself further. That's the only time Big Frank used to get the big hurt and trouble with us going to funks, is when nobody else was hitting. He tried to do too much and expanded his strike zone. All of a sudden he starts off on a slump. He gone. Seventh inning stretch. We lead at 3-0. Trucks built to serve. There you see, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday.
There's a look at Alex Claudio as he comes into the ball game. On for the 22nd time. He's 1-2 his ERA, just over 5. He was originally the closer, but then guys started to figure out what he was going to do, which is, for the most part, change-ups away to the right-handers. They started taking him to right and right center field, and it hurt him. So now he's working in the late innings still, just not the closer of this team.
So here's Yolmer. Right side, could be. Yeah, base hit. Attaboy. So Yolmer now 1 for 3.
That's the way you're going to get him. If you get him, just take it the other way, even though it's a squibber.
For all you youngsters out there who are aspiring major league pitchers, especially if you're left-handed. Baseball overall basically is a left-handed game. And if you are, you don't have to be a hard thrower, but you got to be able to spot your fastball, and you got to have a good changeup. If you can do that, you got a chance to pitch. So that is a foul ball.
Would have been a double play. Angel Hernandez called it foul.
I like the concept.
But the bat was behind him, and you're not going to be able to bunt with the bat behind you. You got to get it out in front if you're going to lay it down, and that was a straight sacrifice. With the bat behind him, didn't work.
Well, if the bat's behind you or you jab at it, you're probably not going to get the job done.
There is Dylan Covey.
And he does go, says Nart. 3-7-1 for us. 2-0 for them. Here in the finale of this 4-game set. Guys like this, you got to make him get it up. And the hope if he does get it up, it's not too high that you can't get there. So that is out number 1. And a reminder, MLB At Bat is your #1 White Sox app. Catch every moment this season. You can get White Sox home screen icons and features such as the MLB.TV Game of the Day, pitch tracking, in-game highlights, live radio broadcast stats, news, and more. Download MLB At Bat today, and if you like baseball, this is just a great, can't beat it, great app. You can watch any game that's been played this year.
It is really a great app.
Oh, that's unbelievable.
No doubt
if you're a baseball
about it.
fan.
Yep.
There he goes. Quick throw, quick release, and they got it.
That was a perfect throw. Was on the first base side of second. If you're going to throw the ball off the money, just get it there. And Perez been throwing it well for a long time.
Well, the perfect throw is just like Steve alluded to, was on the first base side, because that way you can let the guy slide into it.
That's what happened.
Tag himself out. High and deep in center field. Stretch over his head at will. Thank you very much. Chase is going to pull it up. You never want to make the first or the third out at third base.
Time now for the IDOT safe play. And safely in at second base as the Shields doesn't play this very well, but it's doubtful if he gets to it anyway. This ball is hit awfully hard. Turns a couple of different ways at the end. Cannot get to it. Decides to check it up at second. IDOT reminding you that safe driving habits really are a matter of life or death. Visit lifeordeathillinois.com.
Right side pop up. Odor's there. So Anderson is retired, and we'll go to the 8th, still leading 3-0.
WGNTV.com, presented by Nationwide's Jeff Vukovich. Go to jeffvuk.com or follow him on social media because Nationwide is on your side.
Panzer Alberto, somewhat of a defensive phenom, as Steve was telling you earlier in the minor leagues.
Made a couple of good plays today. One especially
That one
good.
was really good. He is grounded to short, going out to left.
Meantime, Ronaldo, coming back off his most disappointing outing of the year, is putting together a gem here today.
Got in on him, a little soft fly ball in center field. And a reminder, the Xfinity Kids Zone is accessible from all levels of Guaranteed Rate Field. Now, the space features batting and pitching cages, base running areas, and skill instruction from White Sox Training Academy coaches. So check out the latest Xfinity technology, including the X1 platform. X1 by Xfinity, and it will change the way you experience TV. Here's Perez, 1 for 2, a double. If you're just tuning in, Ronaldo has retired 16 of the last 17 and 19 of the last 21.
Bullpen up and going. It is Fry and Rondon, part of what Ricky Renteria views as the winning part of the bullpen. I say winning because they will come in when the team is ahead.
Another soft fly ball into right center field. Chase Fry's got a chance.
Since
when we saw him a couple of years ago in spring training, he was one of my picks to click, and he hurt himself.
Right, he had some arm difficulties, and last year he just wasn't the same. But coming back this year after his run in AAA, he's thrown unbelievably well. He's yet to give up a hit.
He's not afraid of the bat, from what we saw. Now, maybe he's changed. I don't know. I wouldn't think so. That's one of the first things you got to look for in young pitching in the major league level. Are they afraid of the bat? If they are afraid of the bat, then they're going to be 1-0, 2-0, 2-1, 3-1, and they're going to get hammered.
He's been going right at people, and if he can get them on 3, he gets them on 3 pitches. Get them on 4, then he'll get them on 4.
As Don Drysdale and the Dodgers' philosophy on pitching.
Get him as early as you can.
Okay, now let's transpose that. If that's what you know, that was the Dodger philosophy. If you can get them on 3, get them on 3. So what happens when you get 0-2 as a hitter? You know they're coming right at you again.
Yep. Look at those numbers. Very impressive. 7 strikeouts. Just an unbelievable day.
Two out, 1-2 the count.
Diamond DeShields threw out the first pitch in the opener of this series. She scored 19 in her debut last night for the Chicago Sky as they won easily over Indiana. First round draft pick of the Sky. So a lot of talent in the DeShields family. His father, Delino, was a wonderful player.
Yes, he was. Try. Full count.
Trying to get him on that slider. 3 times he's gone down on strikes. 3 times right in the zone, including 2 sliders. There's a fastball away.
Yeah, he has had a game today. If you're just joining us, just tuning in, has not messed around with the middle of the plate too much. He's been outside out, inside in. So there is the second walk issue.
And I think here comes Ricky Renteria. He doesn't want to take any chances with a guy who's been as hot as anybody in this lineup, and that's Chu. He's got Fry out there to face Chu. You would think that he would go to him. 101 pitches, just a great day for Ronaldo. So we'll wait for Ricky to make the call to the pen. He's going to tell him how proud he is of him and what a job he's done today. It looks like Ronaldo lobbying to stay in this game. And he talked him into it. There was no call to the pen. We were waiting to see if Ricky would do that. When he went up to talk with him, he let Ronaldo say, look, can you get him? Ronaldo said, sure, I can. And he showed enough confidence to leave him in the game.
I love when managers are not afraid to give the player, especially pitchers, accountability.
And he said, you know, can you go? Yeah, I can get him. So now we'll see if that holds true.
On the other side of that page, I hate it when managers come out of that dugout and they got their mind made up, and whatever you tell them, it's not going to get change it.
Usually they just make that call to the pen with 2 steps out of the dugout, but not this time.
Outside. And that's out of play. Out of the 94. Here with 2 out in the top of the 8th. Gap out there in left center. Just a static lead now, a little better lead by DeShields. And the count's 3-1.
Chris Martin in the bullpen, just activated today.
And a full count. That one at 95. Ronaldo. 5'11", 200 pounds.
You would just as soon see Profar lead off next inning, but to accomplish that, pitch 107 has got to be a strike. Fans on their feet with a lot of encouragement for the young right-hander, just 24 years old.
And that'll retire the side into the bottom of the 8th, leading 3-0.
Everything he had left was right here. A live fastball upstairs. Chu goes down. Lopez pumped. Confidence builder from Ricky Renteria. He went out there, wanted to hear what Lopez had to say. He said he could get him. He did just that. And a very happy dugout. So you got to figure Ricky Renteria showed the confidence in his young right-hander. His young right-hander comes and responds. Nice smile on his face. A redeemer for last time out. And that's going to hold him in good stead down the line. So Chris Martin comes in the ball game to pitch the 8th inning. On for the 17th time. He's 0-1 and ERA of 5.14. Opponent's batting average high at .298.
It'll be Garcia, Leary, and Abreu, and Matt Davidson. Out of play. Quite a job by Ronaldo.
Well, he was just outstanding today, right from the beginning, right until that last pitch to Chu.
He sure reminds me a lot of Bartolo Colon at a young age.
This would be his first major league win if
we can have it.
If you can get 3 outs. And the bullpen has been pretty good in this series. They only have 3 outs to cover, courtesy of 8 strong ones from Ronaldo Lopez.
One out.
Sox fans, you can show your team pride with a White Sox checking, an official White Sox debit card only available at your local Wintrust Community Bank. Go to wintrust.com/White Sox to learn more. Wintrust Community Bank, member FDIC.
Abreu 0 for 3 with 2 strikeouts.
Ten-game hitting streak on the line.
First pitch strike. And while we have a moment, we're sending out a big White Sox hello to a big Sox fan. It's a little late getting there, but his name is Daniel Isufi, who's a senior at St. Viator High School and a member of the state championship baseball team. Well, congratulations, guys. Said he was going to be at the game. This is a couple of weeks ago now, this Sunday, and I'll be at the game with my teammates so I can ask my friend Katie to the senior prom, because that's filed away. So congratulations to St. Viator High School state championship baseball team and Daniel Isufi. One out, 1-2 the count. See, when that catcher moves inside like that, you know what it's going to be.
Righty to righty, unless he's trying to use that backdoor cutter. What, 95% of the time it's a fastball?
Unless it's Ferguson Jenkins out there.
James Shields uses that also, where he tries to throw it right at the right-hand hitter's hands and break it over the inside corner.
There were some
very few guys do it.
Very few.
Fergie,
you count them on one hand.
Fergie made it to the Hall of Fame with that.
That's up high. Nelson Briles, former pitcher for the Rangers, he would do that. And he would also throw left-handers high curveballs on 2 strikes.
It takes a lot of courage. I don't know how you did that, but
I know it. I know it. And they weren't mistakes. They were on purpose. Made a good pass at that one, but underneath it. Fergie was some kind of great pitcher. Wow.
6 straight years of 20 games or more.
Well, he went to Texas, won 25 with them down there.
Yeah, he was something.
Two and two. Out of play. First time I faced Fergie. First pitch he threw me was a fastball, and I had to back out of the play because I didn't realize he was a foot quicker than he looked.
Well, he had such a nice, smooth motion that people didn't realize he threw awfully hard.
Oh, I'm telling you, he was a foot quicker than he looked from the side, from the on-deck circle. But then he hung me a slider.
Well, that goes a while.
Maybe one of the few sliders he hung a whole year. That's softly in the left field. So that 10-game hitting streak's got a chance to go by the boards. And here's Matt. Matt's had a tough afternoon.
He's looking for a little contact here.
If you're just tuning in, we scored 1 in the second, 2 in the third. That 1 in the second was a tremendous home run off the bat of Wellington Castillo. I mean, it was a bomb. And then Leary with a 2-run single in the third. Checks it up, takes strike one. Checks it up, takes strike two. Right at the bottom of the zone. Angels had a good game behind the plate today.
He has that. Made a good call on a bunt situation. Yeah, he's called him well, and very few guys are saying anything about it.
Two and two with Castillo on deck. A reminder, make your plans to be with us. Starting tomorrow, Baltimore for 4. Monday night, Tuesday night, Wednesday night, and Thursday afternoon. Now, the first 3 games will be over NBC Sports Chicago. And next Thursday will be over WGN. Payoff pitch. Got him. We're into the ninth, leading by 3.
Lopez leaves with a 3-0 lead, gives up just 2 hits, and he was brilliant today. He fanned 8, he walked just 2. Gave up a hit in the first inning and a hit in the third inning, and that was it.
And both those balls were hit very, very hard, and that's 2 of maybe 4 balls, the only 4 that were hit hard off of him today.
A very happy young man, a very happy skipper of this ball club, and Jace Fry comes in because it's a very left-handed laden 9.
Switch hitter, Profar, Jurickson, then Mazar, then Gallo.
Jace Fry has been brilliant, and now we'll see if he can do it in the 9th. Profar much better from the right side. But like most of these Rangers today, 0 for 3 to show for it.
Fourth play, 4-6 force play, a strikeout. And then he hit a little soft tapper, who he made an error on, allowed him to reach first.
Hitting .324 as a right-hand hitter, just .206 coming in, and below 200 now as a left-hand hitter.
That ball high in the right field. Stay with it. All right. Trace. And that's out number 1.
Stays in the field of play. Trace Thompson's going to be able to make the play. He's a very smooth and excellent outfielder. So we got the right-hander. Now he's got 2 tough left-handers in Mazara and Gallo.
Mazara 0 for 3 with 2 ground outs and a fly deep to center.
This will be his biggest challenge because he's the best hitter in this lineup, and Jace Fry has yet to give up a hit this year in 7 2/3 innings. 10 strikeouts, just 2 walks, and the young man has acquitted himself very well.
Another strike. He's got a bit of a funky motion. In fact, it reminds me of somebody that I don't know if you ever saw him. Stu Miller. Of course, Stu Miller was a right-hander. Had that little funky motion, you know, with his head, but he's got a little bit of Stu Miller's motion in him.
Well, he has both a curve and a slider, and they're both very good.
So Steve, oh yeah. He gone. 2 down. Stu didn't have a very big fastball.
No, he didn't. And here it is. That's the slider. Hard breaking ball. He's got that soft curveball to go with it. And the combination has been absolutely brilliant, and only Joey Gallo stands between Ronaldo Lopez and his first win of the year.
Joey has walked, and twice he has popped up to left field. Takes first pitch strike. Outfield spread out, but swung around to the right. Pretty big gap out there in left center. Sox 3 runs on 8 hits. Rangers no runs on 2 hits. And the count 0-2.
Those sliders for the meantime overmatching Gallo.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
No reason to set him up. You can wipe him out on the slider, go get him. Pretty good pitch, did not get the call.
That was a good pitch. Absolutely a perfect pitch.
In the same spot where Matt Davidson was called out. Tickling the outside corner at the knees.
And the count evens at 2. almost 17,000 in attendance. So it turned out to be a chilly day here in the City Beautiful.
Chilly but dry day.
Thank goodness. And a full count. Gallo, tremendous power.
Gunner Falefa in the on-deck circle.
Just got a piece of it.
He went to the fastball, tried to get him that way, and Gallo was able to foul it off.
Take about 6 inches off that same pitch. This ball game. Nope. He gone, and indeed, this ball game is over. So the Sox take 3 out of 4. They win game 1. Texas wins game 2. Sox with games 3 and 4 as they absolutely had some great pitching this afternoon from Lopez and Jace Fry.
8 1/3 now hitless for Jace Fry. Ricky Renteria using that bullpen pretty much by committee, and today, because of the left-handed 9th inning, Jace Fry called on. So with a 3-0 win, we'll take a break. We'll be back with more after these messages.